Thank you for staying tuned. The battle for leadership in the seasoning market of late has assumed an interesting dimension. The competition has become stiffer as leading brands continue to dare one another in their respective winning market segments. Our food seasonings belong to the food and beverage subsector of the consumer market. As keenly competitive the cube seasoning market is, it has continued to attract new entrants, while old brands are not relenting on offering innovative products to stay ahead of competitors. Well, let's get a sense of how all of these play out in that segment of the market. I'm being joined by one of the research analysts with financial derivatives company, Paras Kapoor. Hello, Paras. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. Well, seasoning, of course, is relatively an inelastic commodity in Nigeria, and consumers seem to have some kind of limited options. We have the Knorr produced by Unilever. We have Maggi Cube by Nestle. Now, the recent launch of the Terra brand by Chi shows that the barriers to entry are high. So what is the likely effect of the entry of Terra into the market on the profitability of the existing brands?
The entry of Terra brands is likely to increase the competition in the market. The increase in competition is likely to lead to a fall in the price. So it's either going to lead to a fall in the price or prices remaining constant. So the issue that is going to happen with profitability now in a crowded market is that firms will have to advertise more. They'll have to source better quality ingredients, and all this will lead to a reduction in their profitability margins.
Okay. Now, we know that not just Nigerians, generally a lot of people have become quite health conscious. And of course, consumers are beginning to complain about high sodium content in seasoning products. Do you think this awareness, could be a major threat to industry players?
I mean, currently, we don't think that will be the case. The reason we think that is because both Unilever and Nestle have adopted different approaches. Nestle has released Maggi Niger Pot, which is full of local ingredients like crayfish, stockfish, etc., and with reduced salt content. And the entire basis of the product is to release a more nutritionally viable product, while Knorr has decided to not go with that strategy. They've kept with their existing product lines, and we still see that both Maggi and Knorr are extremely competitive. Each one is always trying to be the other one to be the number one in the market.
Now, there's a growing trend around the world, to use fortification, to combat what they call mineral deficiency in the population. Now, stop cues as a popular ingredient in many countries is now being targeted for fortification. Now, what impact will this have on companies and, of course, countries?
Yeah. So currently, both Unilever and Nestle fortify their stock cubes with iron. The aim of that is to tackle anemia, which is the disease of iron deficiency. So what this experience taught us was that for Nestle, it took 2 years to incorporate iron into their stock cubes. They had to take into account that the incorporation of iron won't increase the cost of the product, as well as it won't alter the taste. So further fortification might not be able to follow this thin line of cost and taste. And what might happen is that we might see an increase in the cost of these products. And of course, for countries, it's a boon, because what we'll see is healthier citizens, which will result in an increase in productivity, and eventually should translate into a higher GDP.
All right. Thank you for your time, Paras.
Thank you for having me.
Paras Kapoor is one of the research analysts with Financial Derivatives Company. Now, a community in Nigeria's Cross River State still uses a bartering system more than 6 decades after the country abolished the form of trade. Residents come to the Esumba market to exchange vegetables, fruits, fish, palm oil, and nuts, among other goods.
With a bowl of freshly harvested cassava tubers, Gloria Edem walks through the Esugba market in Calabar, Nigeria, looking to offer her cassava in exchange for food to feed her family. The first trader she meets is not interested. She moves on from stall to stall until she gets a good bargain of dried fish. The Esugba market, located in the capital of Cross River State, was started in 1956 and still operates on a barter system where no money is exchanged for goods.
I like to carry cassava and collect something like fish, crayfish. It all reached 3 years now. The fish is what benefit me to help my house and the family.
Traders sell various produce, including vegetables, fruit, fish, and palm oil, amongst others. Swapping one type of goods for another instead of for cash is an age-old practice and has helped combat increasing food scarcity in rural areas in parts of Africa. The Esugba market opens to residents on Saturdays. The haggling continues until customers have collected enough to feed their families.
I don't buy them. If I come here, I exchange foodstuff and go to town to resell to people and use it to feed my family, and it is good for me.
Esugba is made up of a riverine community, mostly fishermen and some farmers. Apart from the market days, neighbors can also reach out to one another to swap food during the week. Residents say they usually collect money when visitors tour the region or when they sell their goods outside the community. They only use cash to pay a few bills like school fees.
Barter can never be abolished here in Cross River State, in as far as Agbaboyo is concerned. And Esugba in general, we cannot abolish the system because our youth and our elders, both men and women, I think it is a usual practicing.
The market also serves as a tourist attraction for visitors passing through the region.
And finally, Morocco will open new terminals at Tanger Med port today, allowing it to surpass the Mediterranean's largest ports, Algeciras and Valencia, in terms of container capacity and drive more investment and manufacturing to the country. Tanger Med, the biggest port in Africa with an annual volume of 3.5 million 20-foot equivalent units in 2018, will add 6 million in capacity after its extension worth 1.3 billion euros. Morocco hopes the port, which offers a platform for exports by local production plants of French car makers such as Renault and Peugeot, will reach volumes of 4.5 million TEU by this year's end, like Algeciras in southern Spain. And that's it on the program. Thank you for watching. I'm Chimezie Obi Iwagu.